Hello, and welcome back to Cunic Customs. Today, I will tell you about the top 5 best cars ever made. Number 5. The 59 Cadillac is often called one of the greatest cars ever because it represents the absolute peak of the 50s American design and confidence. Its massive tail fins, the tallest ever put on a production car, weren't just decoration. They were inspired by the space age obsession with rockets and jet airplanes. The long body, endless chrome, and bullet tail light proportions gave it a kind of rolling menace that no modern car really has. It looks less like transportation and more like a futuristic machine from another timeline. What makes the 59 Cadillac legendary is how completely it commits huge V8 power, luxurious features, wild styling, and unmatched road presence made it the final form of post-war American optimism. Before cars design became more restrained in the 60s, it is one of the most recognizable cars on the road today, used in many movies, low-riding culture. Few cars ever built capture a entire era like the way the 59 Cadillac does. Number 4. The older generation of Honda Civic earned a near legendary reputation because they combined reliability, simplicity, affordability, and supremely good engineering in a way very few cars ever have. Lightweight chassis, efficient engine, cheap parts, and excellent fuel economy made them practical daily drivers, but they also had enough personality and balance to become enthusiasts' favorites worldwide. Models from the late 80s through the early 2000s were especially respected because they were simple enough to work on without specialized tools while still being durable enough to survive years of abuse. That combination made the Civic loved by first-time car owners, racers, mechanics, and tuners all at once. Many people rank it among the greatest cars ever built because of its impact on car culture. Almost anyone could buy one, learn on it, and improve it. What really pushed the older Civic into icon status was how ridiculously easy it was to modify. The aftermarket support for older Civics is enormous. Suspension kits, turbo kits, engine swaps, ECUs, body parts, transmissions, and brake upgrades were everywhere and incredibly cheap. Enthusiasts could swap in famous Honda engines like the B16, B18, or K series with relative ease, instantly transforming an economy car into something genuinely fast. The cars are lightweight front-wheel drive platform with huge engine bays for their size, making them forgiving for beginners learning performance tuning. Because millions were produced, parts availability stays strong for decades, and online communities build detailed guides for almost every possible modification. Few cars have ever offered such low-cost entry points into customization while still rewarding skills and creativity at every level. Number 3. The Jeep Cherokee XJ earns Never Die status because it was engineered with almost agricultural simplicity. The legendary 4.0-liter inline-six is one of the main reasons people still daily drive XJs, with 250,000 to 400 miles on the odometer. It tolerates abuse, overheating, neglected maintenance, terrible weather, cheap parts, and questionable modifications in a way that modern SUVs usually cannot. The chassis is unpenetrable. The electronics are minimal by modern standards, and nearly every component can be replaced with basic tools in a driveway. The combination made the XJ the perfect survivor vehicle. Cheap enough to beat on, tough enough to keep moving anyway, even when they rattle, leak oil, or sound like a box of sockets in a dryer. They somehow continue starting every morning like they have unfinished business. What really elevates the 1990s XJ into all-time greatness is that it accidentally became timeless. It was small enough for trails, patient enough for families, durable enough to become folklore. Farmers use them, off-roaders lift them, teenagers crash them into mud pits, and somehow many are still alive decades later, with mismatched body panels and interiors held together by determination. The unibody design made it lighter and more agile than older truck-based SUVs, but it still felt indescribable in a way modern crossovers rarely do. An XJ does not pretend to be luxurious or fancy. It survives through stubborn mechanical honesty. That's way people speak about them less like vehicles and more like immortal warriors that refuse to acknowledge the passage of time. Number 2. The 1980s Volkswagen Golf MK1, also known as the Volkswagen Rabbit, earned its reputation because it hit a near-perfect balance of simplicity, efficiency, practicality, and driving feel. At a time when many economy cars were disposable appliance, the Rabbit felt engineered with real care, light steering, crisp handling, durable manual transmission, and a hatchback layout that could haul far more than a tiny footprint suggested. The diesel variation became legendary for its fuel economy, while the gas model still developed impressive efficiency without feeling painfully slow. Weighing barely over 2,000 pounds in many trims, the car didn't need much power or fuel to feel lively, and owners regularly reported 35 to 45 miles per gallon from the diesels and around 30 plus miles per gallon for gasoline models, numbers that still look representable decades later. What makes the Rabbit stand out historically is that it proves an economy car could be genuinely enjoyable. The boxy shape, maximized cargo room, the mechanical design, was easy to repair, and the engines could survive huge mileage if maintained. In the aftermath of the 70s fuel crisis, Volkswagen created a car that gave drivers European road manners while using far less fuel than a large American sedan of the era, many of which struggled to reach 15 to 20 miles per gallon. The Rabbit especially became an icon of smart efficiency before hybrids even existed. That combination of low operating costs, excellent MPG, practicality, and personality is why many enthusiasts still rank the 80s Rabbit among the greatest cars ever built. Number 1. The old Toyota Hilux earned its reputation because it combined simple mechanical engineering with an absurd level of durability. The diesel engines were under stress, the frames were massively overbuilt, and there were very little electronics to fail in harsh conditions. That made the Hilux legendary in a place where vehicles were treated more like farm equipment than transportation. Deserts, mines, jungles, war zones, and remote construction sites. The truck became globally famous after Top Gear put a battered 1988 Hilux through one of the most famous durability tests ever arrayed. Hosts Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May crashed it into trees, submerged it in the ocean, dropped a caravan on it, and even placed it on top of a building scheduled for demolition. After every test, the truck still started with basic hand tools and minimal repairs, cementing the Hilux as a symbol of mechanical toughness rather than comfort or speed. More recently, Westland Diesel brought the same spirit of destruction testing to the modern internet culture. His Hilux video showed the same thing enthusiasts had said for decades: these trucks refuse to die. He abused them with jumps, deep mud, overloading impacts, and mechanical negligence that would destroy most vehicles quickly. Yet the truck kept running long after logic suggested they should fail. Part of the fascination is that old Hiluxes represent a disappearing era of automotive engineering. Vehicles designed with huge safety margins, easy field repairs, and reliability prioritized over luxurious tech. Whether through Top Gear's televised punishment or Westland Diesel's chaotic YouTube experiment, the Hilux became more than a pickup truck. It became a culture benchmark for durability that almost every indestructible vehicle gets compared against. These are the top 5 best cars ever made. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.